Probably some madman or one of those surfers that hang around the beach all the time.
Monster, wait and watch.
Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape! You might be surrounded by 6 or 8 of these things.
You know, it's Halloween. It's
All the lights out, doors closed, blinds drawn.
God, it knows I'm here.
They're coming to get you.
I've just seen death.
Myself up. There we go. We are back once again.
Make sure that you're unmuted.
Yeah, I did. There we go. Perfect. All right. And we are just waiting for Brittany to show up. She's running just a little bit behind with some errands that she had to run, and then drew maintenance man aggro to try and fix something in her apartment, which they usually just show up and say, oh, hey, I can't do anything. I need XYZ, and then they leave, and that's basically where we're at. So,
And I need a character sheet.
character sheets would be good.
Yeah, got it.
New rule, you can't fuss at me about unmuting myself if you keep forgetting to bring up your character sheet. So
I want brownie points for every time I win.
So we need somebody to take notes today. So who wants to do that?
I could probably volunteer because I expect to be the least involved in today's ongoing activities.
Okay. That'll work. Does somebody want to give us a brief recap?
Oh, Lord.
Obviously, some of this is condensed a little because we've had Dark West, so none of that will be included.
Let me just peruse and see what I have here.
But there have been some downtime scenes.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Well, for me, like the main thing was basically checking out a lead that Vidius gave us that there was activity at the boneyard.
Mm-hmm.
And the boneyard is basically a path from, was it California, that leads sort of underground-ish?
No,
I
it
don't
was
know exactly.
the idea behind the bone. Well, the boneyard is a slang term for what it is. What the actual location is, it was a proposed pipeline to funnel traffic from, basically to help with congestion. So to bring another way through basically the mountain from the other side, the far western side of Oregon. So that way it would help with potential traffic jams and whatnot. It was never completed, but the term the boneyard is used by the Sabbat as a means of getting in and out of a city, typically unseen.
Okay. Yep. So I did not go, but basically Trudy, Rivas, Trish, Seth, and Ben, I believe all went.
Agaya.
And Agaya. I decided to stay behind and basically just watch from above, if you will, through scrying. Let me back up just a little bit prior to what happened at that meeting. Ben actually met up with what's his name, Joseph Uribe, I think his name is. We found out that Uribe. Basically, they met at Lithia Park and basically found out that he works for where is it here? Part of the Valley Picaro cartel.
Mexico cartel, yeah.
Yep. Who are linked to, obviously they control the Sanguine Tears. Let's see here. Oh, sorry, my notes are kind of scattered here. The marshals are wanting us to deal with an individual. Basically, he's bad news, deals with kids. Wacy Romanowski, I think is the name.
Yep.
I don't have news on that. Unfortunately, I don't have anything written there. And then back to the weird activity at the boneyard. Basically, I don't know how to describe this. They intercepted a Sabbat pack that had been traveling through there from California. Initially, it was Trudy and Agaya that approached, and she has basically told them to stay back a little bit. Seth actually did move forward with them, right? Ben came later after he got unscared from a snake earlier.
The flying snake.
Flying snake, right? And basically, they had a few things that they talked about. It was a number of things. They were basically asking for basically some dinner while they were in Ashland traveling through, or maybe some help traveling through.
Mm-hmm.
She essentially said, maybe you should stay on the outskirts. I'll have a car brought around for you and stuff. And then they asked about how her progress was on the trader, which was found out to be me. And basically she hadn't had any update for them on that. But as well as they, for some reason, thought that she was Bishop of Ashland. And then they talked about doing a Valdry, at which point they're like, no, and you can't refuse a Valdry. And so then Trudy opened up fire, and I wasn't there after that point.
It went downhill from there.
Oh, I
Fortunately, Reva and Trish had managed to stay in the darkness out of range after Rivas got boot kicked in the initial encounter. Rivas had stayed basically in a man form with Trish at the edge of vision, and so that kept them out of combat till Trudy opened fire. It was very short after that. Ben went into celerity, and in about 20, 30 seconds approximately, the combat was pretty much over with various members of the Sabat pack in various quasi still alive states for a short amount of time until the Ben and Trudy and Agaya terminated them all.
And you forgot one thing. I used my Black Rock abilities, expended too much blood, frenzied, and diablerized one of them.
That's true.
Oh,
Yep.
There you go.
I wonder what ability you picked up, if any.
Don't know yet. She hasn't even had that whisper in her head yet that she's waiting for.
Okay, and then what? After that, I heard Malcolm's men showed up and
Cleanup crew
cleaned up the scene.
Mm-hmm.
sanitized it because no one wants to admit the event took place.
Mm-hmm. And then where did everybody go after that?
That's where we ended.
That's basically the scene ended with sanitizing crew and us withdrawing out of the tunnel.
So then after that, Seth and Ben went home. Seth and Ben an argument. Well, they've had a couple of arguments. She tried to contact her broodmate.
Oh yeah.
Found out that her broodmate had returned to the tower, and thinks that the person who contacted her is impersonating Lily instead of being Lily. And they found out that they've been spying on Trish, and they know that this person's been teaching Trish blood magic. And the prince was going to look into this, so we're waiting for him to contact the Baron. And then conversations between Damaris and Ben about getting down to the truth of things. They did meet with the Baron in regards to Trudy, and they did tell the Baron about what they found out, that Trisha's sire is now the Prince of Seattle instead of Utah, and he knows that she's been learning blood magic. And Jeff did also warn the Baron as well that if the Tremere find out that she knows thaumaturgy, it would be bad for her as well.
That's not something that you can just tell from like looking. You have to actually see them doing it.
Right.
Okay.
That's why she said be careful, because she's seen her use it in the past. It was kind of like, oh, interesting.
I would have you. Nope, not in games. Sorry, Steve. Shut up.
So that's pretty much the recap as we've left it, including some of the side chatter that people have had in our Discord. Steven, you are the ranking member in the city currently. Where is everybody going to meet at? Or are you going to call for a meeting?
Okay. Well, actually, Steven Sans Rivas has been busy instructing Damaris in Obfuscate.
Mm-hmm.
So he would have a conversation with her because they're actually in game doing stuff. And he'd go like, oh, so it's us. Where would you like to meet?
You know what? There's always a fear maze that's around here. It is the Halloween season after all. Figure it might be good to maybe go to one of those scare houses or locations. That'd be a good place to, I think, practice.
Oh, I mean, for us to get together.
Oh,
I'm
you're
assuming
talking about, I thought you were talking about
Yeah.
Obfuscate. Okay, sorry.
Nope.
Sorry. Jerome, I would have gone ahead and performed that ritual on the location, the Court of Hallowed Truth.
On which location?
Oh, sorry, the cannery meeting room.
Okay. When did you pick up this ritual?
Back when you gave us those rituals that we bought from when we
When we sold the Black Rock.
Yep.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yep. That was one of them in there.
Okay.
So basically I will have put the bones up on any windows and door frames and stuff like that, and yeah, basically I would respond to Revis. Let's go to the meeting room at the cannery.
He would make sure that the Revenant family, my good friend Dave, is aware.
You mean Danny?
Danny, sorry, wrong D word.
So you're letting them know of that there's a meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not always sure that he gets those, so
Sure. Especially now that everybody has changed the method in which that communication now takes place, so he would not know.
So I would communicate that to him, and I'm unsure. Damaris, do we ever talk or include the Nosferatu that is in the sewers in any of these communications?
You mean
Henri?
Mr. V?
Yeah.
Typically no. They know that they exist or there, but they typically don't come.
Okay. I didn't know if what would I phrase the word? If it was just done out of the fact that we know they're not going to show up. It was, in other words, an empty invitation. We're going to invite you because we know you're not going to show up.
Pretty much, yeah. It's an empty invitation. They never
Okay,
show up.
a
But
courtesy.
the courtesy is there. Yes. If they want to attend the council meetings, basically.
Okay. Then, I would reach out. Reva's going like, I'm doing all this, so I'm not sure how some of this goes. So we'll reach out to him, reach out to Danny, and I think that's all. We know the others are not available, so that would pretty much be it. I'll put out a little thing on the chat group that the meeting's going to be at the cannery, and I'm not personally aware of any topics that need immediate attention, but the meeting's for everyone to get the chance to express that, so that's what it'll do.
Okay. So that is the word that has been spread. Persephone?
She's actually not going to attend. She will come up with some excuse as to why she would be there by phone if needed, but other than that, no, she would not attend.
Okay.
Coward.
That's going to raise an eyebrow, but okay.
Yep.
Man, I have no support except Revis.
It may not be required any support.
You know what? I am happy to have Revis on my side. Okay. Everybody else are cowards.
Her and Ben are dealing with something.
Yeah.
All right. Never mind. Let me cross out Trudy. Or no, not Trudy. Seth. I had my list here. Nope.
Rub her out.
Trudy's not crossed out yet. I have questions.
Yeah, a lot of this was going to be news to me.
You were there, though, weren't you?
I was there. However, there are a lot of events that took place after that he was deliberately excluded from because there are some people that knew his response was going to be just mildly on the explosive side.
Well, I'm not going to talk about the whole Tremere thing. My main topic is to talk to Trudy.
Well, we need to keep this in character, so
yeah. Well, okay.
So that way we can progress on.
Sorry.
Yep.
You're fine. So then, Trudy, obviously, you get the message that that's where the meeting's going to take place.
She will have Seth drive her over.
Okay. So Seth is, drives. It's the same spot. It's the office place, obviously.
Go inside.
You go on the inside. Hold on one second. Where did you find the ritual, by the way?
Well, I'll pull up the description, or this is where I have it, but you can.
I mean, I'm thinking it's probably.
I don't remember which book it's in. It was in that one that you.
It's probably Rights of Blood.
Yeah, I think it is. Let me pull it up. Vampire.
And what's the name of it again?
Court of Hallowed Truth.
There we go.
Mysteries of the Blood. No, that's not it. Right? No,
There we
that's
go.
Rights of Wild.
Found it.
Okay.
Rights of Blood.
It's not an overall complicated one. It just basically is that, no omissions or no deceit, answer directly or candidly.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure that no one speaketh the bullshit.
Okay.
It is a bullshit-free zone.
Yeah, there are like about the entire population of Ashland I'd like to have in here right now.
Well, it's going to be going on for a month. That's how long it lasts.
For a month? Wow.
In that room, it lasts for a month.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there will be some real interesting conversations.
Yeah.
So when all of you come walking in, there is a skull and a pair of crossed bones on every entry to the room, including the windows. As this is on the inside, it doesn't have any windows. It's only on the door.
Mm-hmm.
So Damaris, if you're going to do this, you need to cast a point. You need to spend a point of blood at each of the entries into the room.
There's only one.
Right, there's only one. And let's see. Okay, so and that's all that really needs to happen.
Yeah.
Everybody will be compelled to speak the truth. Okay. I of course will allow a willpower point to be burned to resist that, because that is standard pretty much for most of White Wolf, including persuasion-based powers. So presence. There we go. Thank you. Anyways, so as everybody comes in, which is the three of you.
Three of us.
Revis's comment would be, well, interesting decor. Not sure it would work in the club, but okay.
No! Well, good thing we're not at the club. Don't worry, I will, I don't know, leave him up. I don't know, may take him down, who knows. Yeah, so, I guess nobody else is coming. Does Trudy show up? Is she there?
Yeah.
At this point?
Trudy is there.
Yeah. So Trudy would walk in, and you can. She looks visibly paler than the last time that you saw her.
Yeah.
It's going around.
Yeah, it is kind of contagious, isn't it? That
Something about this city.
It's vampire COVID. That's what it is. Yeah, yeah.
Catching.
Drains the humanity right out of you.
Yeah.
Okay, so when Trudy comes in, Damaris is just gonna kind of just look at her, just sort of directly, and I think we need to have a chat.
All right. What's on your mind?
Well,
she'll take a seat.
And Damaris will take a seat as well. And Revis, I'll ask you would you mind? I have some serious concerns. I obviously know that you guys encountered a Sabbat pack at the Boneyard from Mr. Vidious's lead. I watched through scrying basically the entire event unfold and the words that were exchanged in that conversation.
It was unfortunate business that.
What is your connection to them? Because they seem to know you very well. They assumed that you were Bishop of Ashland, and you flashed them the Sabbat symbol along with a Gaia.
Suppose now is as good a time as any to have a little story time.
I need to understand what's going on because you have done a lot for the city. You have helped me, and I don't want to just throw that away. But I am extremely concerned with what I saw and what I heard.
Revis is just sitting there looking back and forth between the two ladies with a very nonchalant look on his face.
I can see how you would be alarmed. Trust me, it's been distasteful for myself as well. Let's maybe back up a bit. How much do you know about Agea?
I don't know as much as I honestly would like to learn. I know that her pack was killed. I know that, well, it's honestly about it. I know that she was the bot. Her pack was killed. She's now with apparently the Anarchs, us here. But that's really about it. Well, that I can recall, at least.
Well, the story goes back a ways, so I hope everyone's comfortable. Some time ago, I suppose it's been a year or two now, I had a dream, sort of a vision. It seemed like a dream. And in this dream, it was back when we were dealing with Ekaterina. And I had a dream that it was the future. And Malcolm and I had gotten married. I'd become Donna of Ashland. Ekaterina had killed Malcolm, and I had been injured terribly and was subject to bouts of amnesia. I'm not aware that that's something that vampires can experience.
I don't know.
Revis would just kind of look over at her.
In this dream, I had recorded a message for myself in the event of forgetting. And so in the dream, I sat down in front of a screen and explained to my future self all of that had transpired. All the changes that had happened. And in this dream, there was a girl who had become part of my team, and it was Agea. I had never seen her before. We'd never met. I didn't know of her existence. But in the dream, she was such a part of my team, and she understood, because of her personal history, she understood what it was to feel incomplete with a loss of memory. And so we, in the dream, we had this connection that was very strong. And eventually I woke up. Malcolm was not dead. My other friends were not dead. And in fact, this is neither here nor there, but because of that dream and the things that I changed so that it would not come to pass, I refused to marry Malcolm for a long time. I didn't even want to consider it because I was afraid that taking that step might take us in a direction where the rest of the dream would be fulfilled. And then I met Agaya. She and her pack came down to Ashland for a comic book convention, and I got wind of this girl who was Gargoyle, looked exactly like the girl from my dream. And I still felt that connection. And based on what I knew from the dream, I knew that she was something that actually should come to pass. And so I staged an operation with my team where she was abducted, and thus started the very long, arduous, and still somewhat in progress. Shoot, I'm forgetting the word. Deprogramming from her Sabat roots. Deconditioning. It's been quite a process, trying to teach her the ways of the anarchs and free will, and humans are not just food, and they are valued teammates. And in the process,
Rita starts to chuckle.
Not
in
funny.
the process,
Yes, it is.
Sorry, in the process.
in the process, there have had to be some compromises so that we can see eye to eye on a few things. I've begun studying the Book of Nod so that she and I can understand each other better. But most of the Sabbat beliefs I find extremely distasteful, and it's been very difficult for me to overlook my own history with them, the way that they burned my city down around me, in order to treat them as individuals and be able to work with Agaya. So, fast forward a bit. In my exploration of the origin of this dream and the events that transpired in it, many of which had a connection to reality. Agaya, as I said, is a real person, exactly as I saw in the dream. There are others that I had never met who I have since met, but I first knew in the dream. And so I tried to take it very seriously and proceed with caution. So in my exploration, I needed to meet with somebody in San Francisco. And on my way to San Francisco, with Agaya's suggestion, we ended up needing to use the boneyard. And this is where we met Hector and his pack. Agaya taught me what I would need to know in order to pass through this hostile territory. And I agree, it was distasteful and duplicitous, and I don't like that. But it got us where we needed to be. And so I just saved that information for future reference. And honestly, it's come in handy a couple of times, but only as I've run into this particular pack. When they showed up here in Ashland, I hoped to dissuade them from coming into town, as I'm sure you saw. They've never done me any personal injury. In fact, one time they actually reached out to me with a warning about hunters coming into town. And so I thought I would try and return the favor, but also keep protecting my city. Unfortunately, I don't think they saw through the ruse, and I felt that was the most prudent decision. I regret that blood was spilled. Perhaps there was a better way to go about expelling them from the city without anyone getting hurt, but I didn't want to chance them getting away and sharing word.
Wow. Had they not suggested a Valdry, you might have succeeded.
That was my thought. Perhaps I could have dominated them to take their leave, but I didn't see another way at the time.
So let me see if I understand correctly what you just said. Your interactions with Sabat are based on a dream vision which showed you a different reality than the one you had perceived before. And you didn't like that, so you adjusted your reality by not following that particular path, changing the outcome to something more desirable. Okay. I got no real problem with that. There are stranger things in kindred lore. Just being 100% honest. My only real thought on that is you do realize outright manipulation when you see it, right?
You mean the dream itself?
Yeah, that didn't come from it, out of the sky blue.
I was going to ask if you had visions like that before, or was that the
I
first
never
time?
had. I never had, and I never have since.
Yeah.
At the time, I thought it came from Ekaterina or someone in her employ. I'm still not completely sure where it came from, although I hired a chronomancer, sorcerer, as part of the investigation, and for a time, she helped me to see effects of time around me. She pulls out an amulet around her neck. Woo! And she says, "I've been wearing this, which enables me to see. If I focus on it, it helps me to see some things around me that may or may not be affected by this time magic or whatever it is. But honestly, enough time has passed and enough events have transpired that I haven't felt a threat from it. So I mostly forgot about it at this point."
Well, it's way past the point where it's probably in any way currently relevant, but it's disturbing on some rather basic levels because it implies foreknowledge at a level that is only like, I'm not even sure I even want to mention the word.
Unsettling for sure.
Yes, I'll just let it go at that. And so,
actually, Jerome, can I focus on the thing? Does it cost will? I can't remember.
Yeah.
I guess I'll try it.
Okay.
I'll focus on it once or right now and see if
Okay.
because it's been so long.
And since we've broken from in character real quick, everybody say hi to Davy Jones. He's back and in the chat.
Hi, Davey.
Hi, Davey.
Gave everybody a
back.
Ric Flair woo. Yeah, so go ahead and or no, actually, you just
Yeah, I don't think I roll anything.
no, you spend your willpower points.
Oh, guess what? I should probably get a character sheet out.
Yes.
Oh,
Here it is. I got it.
Maybe I should have asked. Damn, I missed scoring a point.
Yep.
This morning has been so crazy. I can't even tell you. I've been up since 6:30, and this is the first thing I've eaten today. So.
Oh wow.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
So you activate the talisman, and of course, only you can see this. You are in fog.
Is that what it looked like before?
No.
That's not what it looked like.
No.
This is weird.
Yeah, not even remotely. Because remember, before it was like a trail of smoke. And
Yeah.
you could kind of follow it to it. It's like the whole room is just London at night.
Do I see her expression if she's doing that, or
I don't know. Do you try to hide it, Trudy?
No.
Or no? Okay, yeah.
no?
So,
You look like you just smelled something bad. If you were
I've never
to smell.
seen it like this before. I don't know what to make of it. I'll have to ask my sorcerer. Does it? Do you want to look at it?
What it
I mean,
It
I can't
depends on if
lie.
it's
I'm
relevant,
curious.
I think.
I'll just look at it. I mean, I'll examine it. How does it? I mean, how does it work? Like, do you just rub it like a worry stone?
But just I don't know, to just focus my will on.
yeah,
I'll try to focus
it's
my
basically
will
got
on
like a nice basic chain. It's got kind of just a metal piece with a couple gems in it. I mean, it doesn't look super fancy. It's not something, a Toreador would probably ooh and ah over. But it's not poorly made.
Would you mind if
Kind
I
of
tried?
Nondescript. By all means.
I'm not going to turn down an opportunity to try something like this. So, yeah, I'll focus, or I'll burn a willpower and focus, as she explained.
Okay, sure. So I mean, I'm not going to make you burn a willpower point, so you don't see anything. Go ahead and
Foggy
give me.
too.
Go ahead and give me an intelligent. No. You don't see anything. You don't. No activation.
No, I'm
so,
telling her it's so foggy too.
Go ahead
Intelligent
and
and what?
intelligence and occult.
Okay. 10.
Maybe it's attuned to me or something.
Maybe.
Aha!
Yeah,
If that's a thing
Yep.
probably.
that Trudy would know.
It is
Difficulty 6.
difficulty 6. Yeah.
7.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
So you would know that it's going to take more than just you focusing on it. You actually have to attune to it.
Yeah,
That's
this-
pretty common for magical items,
Items like that.
regardless if it's blood magic or sorcery or whatnot. It's the same thing for your staff.
Yeah.
You've got to be involved in the process, which is accounts for the attuning, so on and so forth.
Yeah. Oh, and she's just gonna look at it, rub it a little bit. Yeah, I figure you might have to attune to it for it to work properly, but it seems like you can. Well, I have really no evidence to support why I wouldn't believe you on this, other than learning the basics of how to pass through a Sabat city, honestly, is probably knowledge that a lot of people can learn, but it also is a double-edged sword, because those that you flash it to know you now as that, potentially, and can spread that word.
Right. They are the only Sabat that I have ever worked with the exception of Mr. O'Branigan.
Okay. So that pack is the only pack you've ever dealt with them?
That's correct.
Okay. And they have been thoroughly dispatched. I think
Unfortunately.
if it helps you feel any better, I honestly think that you did make the right decision there in the end. Because there was no way that you were going to get out of that without something happening after they wanted to perform a rite with you. To refuse a rite like that is insulting.
And
they immediately would have seen it.
that's not something I'm willing to do.
Do you know that they all really died? And were all of them really there?
Jerome, they're like all of the ones that I'm familiar with were
Mhm.
there, right?
Yep.
And we're confident that they are all.
Yeah,
What was
oh,
their
yes.
pack name? Do you
DED
recall?
dead.
I don't know if I ever knew their pack name.
Okay. From California, well, things aren't going well there. Do you know anything about what's going on over there?
My understanding is that the CAM is tightened their hold on the state.
As they should, probably at this point. Okay.
That's actually why perhaps you remember my my good friend Daedalus from my
Yes.
wedding. He is also a refugee from San Francisco, from the Camarilla. So he's settled now in Ashland, at my home for the time being.
Let's see. Um.
Is there anything else that you wanted to know about the night or the dream or Agea or anything?
Trudy still has something to offer if she wants.
I have no
love that
words
look.
right now.
It's what Lettice
I
has
would-
told her.
I would.
It's what?
Lettice has told her.
I have no idea.
Oh, sure you do.
Text me.
Okay, well, make sure you have your chat pulled up
Um,
because you still haven't looked at it. I already sent you a message.
Oh,
I gotta say, I'm relieved to hear this.
oh, great.
I I do believe you.
That wouldn't come up.
Okay, I'm just saying that's important details, and you are compelled to speak
Oh,
to
yeah,
truth
I mean, sure.
right now.
I have questions, I suppose. You kidnapped Agea, and you've been deprogramming her. Bonus points.
I
You've-
felt it was important for her to understand the essence of free will, to be able to make her own decisions, to choose a life that makes her happy instead of simply following orders like she did in the Sabbat. She was not treated well in her pack.
What comes to my mind is, did you get your knowledge of how to operate in the Sabbat from Agea, or did it
Yes.
come from some other source?
Oh, from Agea told me what to say, and I had Malcolm find me a fancy Cainite symbol that would sell it, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was my anti-tribute costume.
Okay. And was Malcolm aware of
Yes,
what was made?
I told him all about the dream. He
Okay.
knows. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to clarify in my mind. So you went to San Francisco. Hector and his pack helped you when you went there. You got some knowledge. You brought it back.
And
The
then you
knowledge wasn't
organized.
immediately pertinent, but useful. Did anything, how am I trying to word this properly? Did the dream send you in any other directions? I guess is what I'm asking. Similar to this.
The only other aspect of the dream involved my friend Latisse dying as well. And that was on account of her connection with Ekaterina. I suppose it doesn't matter so much now, but they have a long history together, unbeknownst to Latisse. And Ekaterina had been hounding her for a century.
Yeah, that I know.
And that was the other part.
Okay. So if you had to sum it up, the dream was immensely useful as a tool and a teaching agent. Would you say it? Would you word it that way, or would you word it differently?
Honestly, I'm inconclusive about the dream, seeing as several of the events that I tried to avoid managed to come true in other ways, such as Mary and Malcolm becoming Donna of the city, which was a thing that I, not being Giovanni myself, had no idea was possible before the dream. It seemed very presumptuous to me.
Political.
And yet that has transpired.
Time has a way of twisting back to the results that it desires. That's a philosophical point of view, but okay.
I have managed to avoid the bulk of the undesirable outcomes that I saw in the dream.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. So you've been exposed to Sabbat philosophy, but you're not Sabbat.
Heavens no.
You know some things about the Sabbat, but not enough to really successfully pass a stringent observation or interaction.
Certainly not.
Okay. I feel that's the best way to sum it up, because if people ask, I want to be able to say, yes, we had this conversation. We were completely satisfied with the results and your behavior, and I want to be able to let it go. If it comes up, I would like to avoid it.
At no point in my interactions with this pack did I ever claim to be a bishop or archbishop of anything. That was simply an assumption on their part.
Okay.
No whammies and stop!
I can't think of anything else that's relevant, although I did have something else I wanted to talk about now that so when we're done with this.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to ask an opinion about something of the two of you since you're here.
Well, now, just before we, Trudy, I appreciate you explaining that. I didn't want to believe everything that I saw, and I'm glad that I was wrong.
I can understand how you could have come to other conclusions based on your experience.
Yeah, it would just be ironic if somebody else did the same thing that I had done.
It would
but
indeed.
I paid for it tenfold by now. I'm still paying for it. Ironically. It's good to know that they are still hunting me, though. I don't think that's ever going to go away.
And that was interesting information. I was disappointed to hear that, but it's good to know.
I'm a little bit of a higher profile target in that I'm the child of an archbishop. So, yeah, and one that's relatively well known. So, yeah, it's put a bigger target on me. But at this point, I'm here in Ashland. I'm not going anywhere. I'm stuck, and let them come. I actually did want to ask you as well. Because of that, I would be interested if you'd be willing to teach me how to dominate.
Sure.
Yup,
Oh, you mean a discipline?
that too. I just at this
Certainly.
point, I feel it would be necessary.
It comes in handy sometimes,
Oh no.
although not as often as I used to think.
Well,
All righty. Are we ready to move on then, ladies?
yes. Let's move.
Okay.
Do we have other points of business?
Yes. I'd like to revisit the incident at the club.
What happened at the club?
The incident where Seth and Ben came down and we were talking about her ability to get funds from the club as partial payment for when I took it over in order to remove the visibility, and dealt with the ghouls, provided the lawyer, all sorts of other things, including her double, which was killed in California.
Hmm.
And they came downstairs, and Seth asked if I would teach her Serpentis.
Her eyes are
Interesting.
just gonna go wide at that because she knows that she's already teaching stuff she shouldn't. Now she's asking for stuff she shouldn't be.
Well, she did it in front of Ben, and Ben apparently was unaware of the fact that what she did is ask me to betray my clan.
Yep.
That's not one that you folks bandy about, is it?
In all truth, the last occasion that I'm aware of was over 200 years ago, and I believe they terminated his life on an altar in Egypt as an example to everyone else.
Hmm.
I could be mistaken. It's old enough to be lore, but it's not a mistake I've been aware of being made for a very, very, very long time. So the conversation went downhill from there.
I assume you said no?
Well, they took it rather poorly when I pointed out that Seth would suffer a loss of humanity, among other things. They apparently have a limited understanding and think it is just a discipline rather than actually being a religious discipline like the ones the Essenes profess to have.
Mm-hmm.
And so it did not go well, and Ben threatened me at the end, and we parted ways.
Okay.
I won't go into the rest of it. I'm just making you aware of the fact that someone engaged in these activities and it did not end well. And as a result, there is a certain amount of visible animosity existing at this point in time.
I'm glad that you said something, although I wish they were here for us to air our grievances together and come
Right.
to an accord.
Going by Ben's reaction, it's probably something you want to do where other people and kindred aren't around.
I understand Damaris is rather handy in a pinch.
Yeah, when we met up at my office at Anzio's, she did lose control, and I had to quell her. There, she loses control a lot. I feel like that's something that needs to be worked on. Otherwise, she's going to continue to
That's
risk
probably true, but
the masquerade.
I understand she's under a lot of pressure these days. Nights. She's been through a lot in the last few months.
She has, and that's why I didn't react the way my clan obviously would like me to have reacted. If
Which
other
is
clanmates found out about this incident, it would be viewed as nothing less than as an insult.
Well, I'm sure
and the
that
fact that, I did not take any obvious actions other than to say, this is going to be bad for you. I don't want to teach it to you. It would not go over well.
Well, I think their lack of knowledge is something to be taken in consideration there with that. So it seems like you did that.
I'm
I
surprised
think,
you didn't just say, I'm sorry, this is sacred to my clan, and let's come up with an alternative repayment.
seems a little.
Let us simply say that the approach was something that took me by surprise. And I have an obligation to my clan, and I have an obligation to the arrangement I have with the city. At the point where this incident took place, had I reacted the way I was supposed to, and judging by the reactions that took place after that, there would have been an altercation. It just would have taken place.
Yourself.
Ben would not and did not react well. My approach after that was such that they both objected to my attitude, which was decidedly poor after being asked to betray
It
my
could have
clan.
been worse, I would say. It sounds like you let them off a bit easy at that point. Yeah, I would act similarly in that I refuse to teach my own clan discipline, so it's sacred to mine as well. So I understand exactly where you're coming from.
I think it's also important to acknowledge, and this could be a certain failing. Uh, Anarchs have a tendency of being a little too outspoken, where other factions depend on decorum and subtext in dealings with each other.
That's true.
That may be what you're more used to, and on that point, I apologize.
Well, there's no. I do not. How do I want to phrase this? An apology is not necessary. What I saw displayed was either an assumption that somehow this was going to be acceptable, or a lack of instruction on really this was just not going to end well, no matter what approach you took. This was one of those topics where you really shouldn't be going because there was no good ending. And I'm not sure. I know Ben a little bit. I know her a little bit. I do not know them well enough to be able to make an observation on what they know in relation to Setites. So I was reluctant to go, hey, you're being incredibly stupid. This does not end well. You've just insulted me and my clan. That did not seem the appropriate answer, even for an anarch.
Mm-hmm.
Did you come to an alternative arrangement?
No, after Ben threatened me, I considered the deal voided. I had made an arrangement with Seth. She had agreed to it. Seth left. Ben then threatened me and said, if I don't do this, bad things were going to happen. And
wait, if you didn't teach her?
No, not if I didn't teach her. If I didn't increase the amount of money that she had agreed to, he was going to be very unhappy with me and display that.
What were you going to pay her to do? I mean, if you don't mind me asking.
When Seth left, she said, I only want the money.
Okay.
Which was completely agreeable.
For what? What is she
I was
going to
willing.
be doing?
This is
That's
just
what I don't know.
because this was nothing. This was just because it had been her club. I had taken it over.
I see.
And granted, I did a lot of things, but I still felt because I was part of the city and I had arrangements with the city that she should get some money. There was no argument with me about that part. What I took exception to was after she left, he tried to change the deal without her knowledge. He said, do this or else, basically. And I'm like, seriously? And then we parted ways on very bad terms.
Not that this is an excuse for them, but maybe their emotions were a little high at the exchange to begin with. I don't know.
You know how Bruja are.
Always
running hot.
That's why we have had very, very little action since then. There are things that, could be done, but at this point, my interaction with the sweeper and her is very limited and based on what is my obligation to the city rather than a relationship.
Do you think that it's a good idea? And actually, I actually think this is a good idea, so I'm just going to say it. I think it might be a good idea to just maybe have a little info meeting with people that, maybe don't ask other people's individual clans' disciplines to be taught to them if it's super unique to them. At this point, we got to stop sharing that because it's getting people in trouble.
And Revis would just kind of look over at you and go like, what other sharing?
Um, well, let's just say that Seth has been interested in teaching others certain things.
Revis just goes, seriously?
Yes, I'm not going to go into full details, but
I don't want to
she's
know.
in trouble already. So let's just, yeah, basically, we just need to stop with sharing of personal disciplines like that because it's getting out of hand.
Coming
Or just
from
maybe
a,
make it known that it's not okay to ask that because you don't know who you're going to be asking. Could be the wrong person.
Well,
if I may, I understand that Sabat typically share disciplines among a pack.
They can.
Does
Mhm.
does that extend to things like thaumaturgy?
Yes, absolutely.
It's very interesting.
You will rarely find, say, an Asimite, for example, in their unique discipline, sharing that with somebody else. It's not as uncommon as, say, Serpentis being taught. I'm just saying, like, that never happens, but you find occasionally someone who knows that, their discipline, but it's exceedingly rare. But even in the Sabbat, yeah, those types of magics are not openly shared.
Interesting.
as an example, the serpents, which they're not only considered Sabbat as far as Sedites are concerned, they're actually considered a heresy.
Is there a reason that Persephone did not make it tonight?
Some
She
BS excuse about talking with Ben.
Well, I don't want to interfere with anything may be going on at home, but I would feel more productive discussing this with her together.
I would agree. I just think that there's a lack of understanding there at this point. And yeah, that's it's sorry, she's looking out. It's just a problem, okay?
From my point of view, like I said, I'll honor the arrangement I made with Seth. The incident with Ben, after having this discussion, I'm going to consider as non-existent.
I would,
Just-
just follow with your agreement.
I think the original should be sufficient for now until such a time as you can sit down together and discuss it in a plain, calm way. Unless, should we insist that she join us?
I doubt that will end well currently if
'Cause the
she's
Baron's not
also
here.
in trouble at another level.
Because the Baron's not here?
I don't think that she'd like being chastised without, basically Ben
I'm
here.
not thinking about chastising
so
her.
that's how you think, Damaris? So why don't you give me a self-control check?
Okay. I think she's being cowardly here.
Right.
That's why.
And what is your path?
Honorable Accord.
Right.
I knew that was coming.
Ah,
Revis has been very careful. He got burned on his path in the meeting. He's like, not doing that
so
twice.
self-control.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Actually, at that point, she'll say, no, you know what? We need to talk to her. We need to get her here now.
Okay, so don't worry about the roll then.
Okay. I mean, I don't want to roll, so I will tell her. You know what? No, this is her not being here is a coward stance, and she needs to talk about this. This is not okay. Her actions are not okay.
Because right now you have little Mushu on your shoulder, just
Yep.
screaming dishonor and pointing every different direction.
Dishonor on
Yep.
you,
Okay.
on your
Trudy-
family, on your cow.
Trudy is going to call her on the phone.
Hello?
Miss Persephone, how are you tonight?
Miss Trudy. Been better.
Are you
Doing-
under the weather, as it were?
No, just dealing with home life.
Perhaps you'd like to get out of the house for a little while.
Actually, this is something that Ben and I are having to deal with the others in our home, which is why I didn't come tonight. I didn't feel it was important that I need to be there.
Roll charisma and subterfuge.
Which of us?
Persephone.
Okay.
Hey, she's telling the truth.
Not entirely.
Charisma and subterfuge.
Yep.
This is a whole big old game of he said, she said.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Vampire.
Yep. Hey, supposed to work. There we go. Failed.
All right. So, based on her tone, there's clearly more to this. Obviously, you're not sure what, but I mean, it could be anything from she's addicted to a soap opera to, I mean, who knows?
There's
Reruns of
there's
Dallas.
clearly more going on.
Yes, there's very clearly
Maybe
more
we should
going
come
on.
to her. Would that be better?
Is that what you're suggesting, Damaris?
Seth,
Yes.
yeah, why
Make your
why
self-control
don't,
check.
I was mocking, but
Oh,
yeah.
no. Okay. I wasn't
Sorry.
certain. All right.
The voice, I thought. Sorry, my bad.
No. Okay, so if that's the case, then no.
No, I was mocking it.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Gotcha. Then
Oh
never
my
mind.
gosh, I just saw Rachel's roll. Was that for the ritual? Holy moly.
No, that was for intelligence and occult for the amulet.
for the necklace. That's a crazy roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Best one I've had in a while.
Sweetie, we'd sure like to talk to you tonight. I don't suppose you'd mind coming on by to the cannery?
Is it really that important that I'm there?
We'd really like to see you.
Fine. Be there in 20.
Lovely. We'll keep the seat warm for you.
See you soon, Miss Trudy.
So she will hang up. Well, while we're waiting, it's come to my attention through the grapevine. What exactly do we know about Mr. Danaher?
Michael?
The La Sombra fellow.
Oh, I know very little about him other than
We don't know where he came from, or are we sure he's Anarch?
one question at a time. Okay. He's effective at a level that makes me paranoid. He admits to being familiar with Native American items and their use. He knows things about traveling that normally werewolves are familiar with, which was kind of shocking.
That is rather strange.
So you tie that all together with his admitting that he's never stayed in the same place longer than was absolutely necessary because he's been running from something.
It's come to my attention that certain parties are interested in knowing his whereabouts, and I am not sure who should know and who should not know.
If you desire his presence in the city, we don't know.
Perhaps we ought to have him join us here, and we can ask him about that at the same time.
Oh my, we're going to cover all the interesting topics, are we? This has been on my
this
list
is,
ever since.
As good a place as any to do it. She
Wait,
looks around.
But
we
maybe
need
we
to add
should-
Trish to this list.
Yes.
Do you think she's available?
No. Going by what I heard from Seth and Ben, no. Nor, yeah, no.
Well, perhaps we should wait for Persephone before inviting Mr. Danaher, so as not to air our dirty laundry in public, as it were.
Well, but like I said, by his own admittance, he's a traveling man. So, but other than those things, I mean, he does what he says, which is always a plus.
That is, yes, that is an important quality. And you've had no reason to distrust him?
I have no reason to trust him. I turned it the other way around.
I see.
He has been very cooperative, which was a little bit odd, but okay, considering the levels that he displays of usage. I would have expected him to ask for a bit more, truthfully, than what he's
Interesting.
accepted.
Very interesting.
Anyhow, that's all I can really say.
Well, if we're going to table that for a little while,
Okay.
Is there anything else that we need to clear the air on?
That's the only thing that I'm aware of. But apparently, I am not at all aware of all the other interesting things going by what I've heard. I look forward to hearing about all the rest of these interesting things eventually.
You mentioned that you know about Trish. Do you know what's happening with that?
Well, I know she's taken up residence with them, and that she was getting some of her clothing and stuff from them. There were some indications of something else, but it was not explained to me, and I just kind of went, okay, eventually I'll have this explained to me. I thought it...
Well, just so you're not in the blind here, and I obviously expect this to stay here, Seth has been teaching Trish Tremere blood magic.
Revis just turns around, walks up to the wall, and slams it with his fist.
And she has been caught.
Whereupon he hits it harder.
And
is he damaging the wall?
Yeah.
In my building?
In your building.
I'd probably, if it
Get
comes
it out
in,
now.
I'm a little bit short of having to make that control check, but not by much.
So
I do hope you knew a good drywaller.
I had the club redone. I'm sure I can get the same company to come out and fix it.
So basically, I told her to stop teaching the blood magics at this point because there's basically, okay, how do I go over this? We scryed on her supposed blood sister, her, well, basically her sister, Katrina. Katrina basically reported back to Castile, who was Trisha's sire, who's now the etiquette, Prince of Seattle. And and is basically aware now
Hold
that
up.
she's teaching blood magic to.
Hold up. I thought you said he was in Salt Lake.
He was, but he is now in Seattle. I discovered this
What?
through the scrying.
What happened? Wasn't that the place we just visited from the camp? Or was that
That was
Portland?
Portland.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Portland has a new prince, and Seattle has a new
Seattle.
prince.
Yes, Seattle has Castile as.
I do not
its
like
prince.
that. I do not like that. I have business in Seattle, and
Okay.
he's going to complicate it.
Well, he is now aware that Trish knows blood magic, and Katrina has relayed that basically are the ruse to have Lily disappear and die as a result of the masquerade breach clearly worked. However, unfortunately, this Katrina individual now believes that Seth is the one that betrayed her sister, Lily, and that is the one that has been teaching Trish blood magic. So it's ironic because it's still Lily, but they think it's somebody else that framed her instead.
Well, so it worked, which gets us off the one hook. But
now
now
we have another hook.
Now we have a prince who's is she a ghoul? Is she progeny? What are we talking about here?
She is Tremere.
No, I mean Trish.
Oh, Trish is his progeny, is his child.
So we have the child of a prince,
Yes.
of a camp prince, who's been taught blood magic.
Yep.
We'll be lucky if we don't get a visit from an archon.
Yep. Now, unfortunately, it started as a clan thing, and it's now sort of, I think, crossed that barrier of it being a faction thing now because it's been made aware of a prince and a non-Tremere learning it. Yeah.
Wow. Do they have vampire soap operas? Because
This
we need to
is-
run this. We need to sell this to them. Really. This
Yeah.
is like a mortal version of vampire.
That's why I
think we should
earlier,
sit on it for 100 years before we put any. I'd like to see how it ends.
So,
Okay.
unfortunately, that's why I made the comment earlier about
see.
basically she needing to stop asking or wanting to learn unique disciplines because maybe she doesn't know the value in them and that they are.
Well, we know she's been mistaught.
It seems on a lot of levels in that.
Which of them has been mistaught?
Seth. I mean,
And what do you mean?
That's part of what I was informed was that when her sire was teaching her, she was taught things that weren't 100% accurate. That was my understanding.
I don't know what her full teachings are, but I don't know if respecting other clans' disciplines was part of that.
So
well,
and at that
Sorry,
moment,
Seth.
Revis, you get a text.
Mm-hmm. I look at it.
Okay. The text says that your paycheck is waiting for you at the bar or the club.
Well, that wasn't what I was expecting to see.
If she was mistaught, then we as her friends ought to
Exactly. Right.
give
She
her
needs to
some
be taught
lenience.
correctly. If that's the case, she does need to be taught too at this point. But because I am not obviously the Baron, I don't think she's gonna take kindly to me basically telling her stop teaching blood magic and stop asking other people to teach you their disciplines specific to their clan. Not things like obfuscate or,
Well, it implies there's a
offset.
lack of understanding that there are, for lack of better words, generic disciplines,
Possibly.
as opposed to religious-based ones and very sectarian disciplines.
How did you become aware of Serpentis? I mean, that's not a common one you hear or know about.
How did I become aware of it?
No, her. How does she become aware of like what that type of ability does?
I have no idea.
And at that point, Seth is walking into the door.
Okay.
Hey, Seth. Thanks for coming.
Everything okay at home?
Jerome, how much does she hear? Does she hear that last part?
Yeah.
She hears it before she can react to the skull and bones.
Trudy will stand up when she sees her come in, and she'll kind of like go over there and like put her arm around and kind of usher her to the table in a very friendly and unassuming way.
Ramirez just remains seating where she's at.
The reason why I know about the discipline is because Ben asked me to ask him. She's having to tell the truth because of the stupid skulls and bones that are sitting there.
So how did Ben know about it then?
And then she's
it's so unique.
Would she be? I guess I'm trying to figure how I would react. Would that be like one of those moments where you kind of go, "She didn't mean to say what you said"?
Well, how would you
I don't
know
though?
though?
If that's what. Well, no, she would know the ritual.
Well, if she was specifically looking for it, I mean,
It's on the door.
Well, the bones and crossbones, or the
Right.
crossbones are, but
which
anyways.
is an updated feature to what should be just a regular
Yeah.
human office.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's already in there, so all right.
Yeah.
However, I guess you notice it.
I don't know how he knows it. And why am I telling you this?
Well, because we asked. Well, I didn't ask. You heard apparently from the hallway.
It is a very interesting question.
Well,
Revis
I wish
is
Ben
sitting
were
there
here for us
listening,
to
not
ask.
having to ask anything at this point.
Well, look, Seth, I have obviously concerns about the fact that you've been teaching blood magic to Trish.
Well, the reason why was to help protect Cindy.
Yeah, I understand you were trying to do a teach her how to use the water walk ritual. Not water walk, mirror walk.
The mirror walk, yes, because if our place is attacked, I can't be at 3 different places at one time. So Ben and I decided that teach Trish a little bit of thaumaturgy.
Is that an extremely closely held ability? I mean, that particular one?
To some Tremere, yes. Well, no.
Well, to all
Most
Tremere.
to all Tremere.
They
don't like it when it's being taught outside of clan?
I mean mirror walk specifically, is that a very common?
No. It's not even a
very
Tremere.
rare.
It's not even a Tremere.
It's not a Tremere ability.
Well, it's part of blood magic, but it's not something that is common.
You can't just do a blood ritual if you don't have the knowledge or the thaumaturgical ability to do it. It's not just say the word,
it's like
some blood. It doesn't work like that.
It's kind of like with the mirror. She knows blood magic as well.
Through my own clan discipline, though.
But right, so she's able to learn blood magic from me, and I'm able to learn blood magic from her because we both have the ability to learn blood magic.
I mean, doesn't everyone have the ability to learn blood magic if they are a blood user?
It can be taught, yes.
It's more difficult, but it's not unheard of.
And the only thing I've taught Trish so far is to protect herself from being staked.
Well, that sounds a little ridiculous. It's not like these are closely held secrets.
It doesn't matter what she's teaching. It's the fact that she's teaching it.
It sounds like
they don't like.
They've just got their panties in a twist.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would never teach Ogum. That's my clan's discipline. He will never teach Serpentis.
There are other issues related to the instruction.
What are the?
Let's put it this way. every clan that has a unique discipline, almost without exception, considers the teaching of it an act of treachery. Long and short. Doesn't make any difference what level it's at. Right, whatever you want to call it. They don't care. It is simply considered an act of treachery, and everything else becomes secondary. And the normal result is the clan calls a blood hunt on the offender. And truthfully, it's a mercy if they succeed, because what happens to the offenders they take back to the clan homes isn't anything even a Setite wants to talk about.
Tremere, from what I understand, a lot of times they will reprogram you.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But you know there are anarch magics as well, right?
No.
Perhaps, I mean, obviously it would be easier to learn from someone who already understands thaumaturgy the way that you do, but there are alternative sources.
Well, that
as I
was
understand,
the reason why I was contacting Katrina, because Katrina was supposed to be Anarch as well. She was the one who guided me away from our sire because of the type of person he is. We both wanted out from underneath his rule. Mine for different reasons than hers. And I'm quite appalled that she has returned to the tower.
but she doesn't know that you're you.
I told her that I was me.
She
I
doesn't
mean, I
believe her.
even gave her the freaking code word. Thelma and Louise. I mean, I don't know how much more.
I thought that was wasn't that one of the
my.
terms? Wasn't that one of the terms of having a new identity?
Don't
It's like
contact
witness
your old
protection,
life
not
people.
contacting anyone from your old life. Yeah, I mean, present company excluded, obviously.
Well, I didn't think that my own brood sister would have betrayed me. But she
Well,
has.
unfortunately, she has, and now we have a prince that is getting involved. Not just any prince either. It's Trisha's sire.
Well, seeing as
In
the
the
treaty
Bumpus,
is fairly new, I don't think anyone on the political level is likely to attempt anything public. So I think that may come through the Baron. So we'll just have to make sure that she stays aware of any.
we spoke to the Baron. She did mention that she is going to contact the Archon.
Okay.
Surprise.
Good.
You guessed right.
And she's pretty much going to tell this prince it's none of his damn business what Trish does or what we do. You know, he's a pompous
lovely.
ass, which doesn't
That may be
surprise me.
true, but unfortunately, we still have an accord with them. And at this point, if he gets involved, I mean, it could either stay as okay, the prince is just going to say, you know what? Nope, I'm not going to mess with it. It's a clan thing at this point. You guys deal with it. At which point, I'm not sure how the Baron's going to respond. But there's the other side of it where because Trish, who is not Tremere, is being taught that, and he's aware of it, that it could turn political, like it just there's no winning in this.
Does she still have a bond to him?
No.
I'm not sure.
I would think that in order to have a bond to him, you would have to be in his presence and drink from him. And according to her, she
been some
hasn't.
time, hasn't it?
It's been years.
He did say specifically when I happened to observe that
He
didn't give her permission to learn those magics.
I have
Which
a
is something that I haven't been
question.
able to bring up to Trish because that's something that we were
I have a
about to discuss
question
with her.
for Trudy.
Yes, I'm the child of a prince as well,
Trudy,
but my sire was a little less
Pompous?
pompous, is a word.
Trudy,
Yes.
was Trish released?
I don't
Trish
know.
ran. No.
I
Trish
wasn't there.
ran.
No. If she's his progeny, did he release her under
She
the laws?
ran.
So she has not been formally released from being his progeny, which
And
means
you would think that after
wait,
36
let
years,
me
he would
finish,
have
please.
done more to find her.
That means she is still his property under the laws of the camp. He did not release her out to the public. She ran.
And he said, I did not give Trish permission to violate your clan in such a fashion. Those were his words.
So if that's the case, then I'm still property of my own sire.
If you ran without being released to the general public under cam law, that is 100% true.
I refuse to go back to him.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying there are now flavors to this that none of us were aware of. I just kind of apparently naively assumed that the individuals involved had been released by their sires.
We'll have to ask about that. Do you know what city she was created in?
I do not.
Was it Salt Lake?
No, back east.
She's been sort
I
of
want
out
to
for like
say, I
20,
want to
30
say,
years.
50 years, according to what I got from Trish, she's been free.
I want to say Tennessee.
I'll have to ask around, see if anyone I know knows
And obviously,
anything
it's
from
not
that
that
era.
hard to find her since he found her in my haven.
He could have just found her being out and about. We don't know that it was in your haven specifically. Just because I was able to get in there, and it was difficult, by the way, doesn't mean that they are.
That would be the
possibly-
only way that they would
Sarah?
have known I've taught.
Did
her
you
blood
teach
magic.
her
you
teach her
told.
anywhere except for in your
No,
haven?
only in my lab, which is
And it's
Do
protected,
we
isn't
know
Yes.
if Trish gave up any of her blood prior to escaping?
no.
I don't know.
it? How could we know that?
Yes, that's something.
I don't know
that-
if even she would know,
say.
but
Yeah.
it's not unusual for sires to retain some of their progeny's blood in case they become unruly.
So they can be summoned.
Yeah, you can be summoned without the blood.
She could be summoned.
And the only reason I know that is because Ben has summoned me.
So
Interesting.
Since there's a brief lull here in the role play, let me pipe in here real quick. What do you think that text meant, Revis?
Oh, out of game?
No, in character, what does Revis think?
Revis is going payment. He really have to know who had sent it. If it's from clan or family, it would be one thing. If it's a payment for something else, then he's going to kind of go, I need to see what it is before I'm going to speculate on who sent it.
Sure.
Who?
Okay,
Yeah.
just
Who's
checking.
the text from? Did you recognize the number?
No, it's not a number that was in my repertoire.
Yeah, I didn't specify, but just checking. Okay, go ahead and continue.
Yep. So I'm going to, now that you remind me, and we're passing time, at some point Revis is going to have to leave and go to the club and see what actually is there. I have been apparently gifted with something that I need to inspect in a little bit.
Okay.
As far as your discipline, it was not asked in malice.
Truthfully, had I thought it was asked in malice, the altercation would have ended vastly differently.
Mm-hmm.
You were in a club that I had spent months going on, and there are things there that would not have played well.
Unfortunately, asking someone to teach you a specific clan in clan discipline like that, it can be viewed as an insult to them. And that is, I know that wasn't your intent. I know that's not what you intended at all, but it is an insult to many of them. So just maybe not ask unless they volunteer. it.
There
Even
are
then.
there are ways of going about that interaction. I have relationships here, particularly with the Baroness, and that mandates my actions.
Well,
Let me finish. I have clan responsibilities that also mandate actions. In the case of what you did, I honored the Baroness's wishes over my clan's and had to pay the price for that. So that was why you got the tone you got, because I made a conscious choice to honor the agreement with the Baroness, knowing what my clan wanted.
so that's
I
why you insulted me.
It was better than the alternatives.
No, the alternative would have been to explain it more, and then instead of insulting me and then upsetting Ben because you insulted me.
I don't consider it an insult. Your actions indicate a lack of concern.
I asked you, I was fine without you teaching me the discipline. I was fine with that. I only asked because Ben had asked me. I was fine with just getting the revenue. What I asked was for me to continue with this persona, I would need to learn how to DJ. And I asked you to bring in a DJ into the club. And it was your response to that. You belittled me. You took a chance to belittle me as usual. And I got grown tired of it. I am tired of people who think they are above me to treat me like I am the dirt under their shoe. That is why I reacted the way I reacted. And that is why Ben reacted the way he reacted.
Who has ever treated you like you were dirt between underneath their shoe? Like having
Besides Revis, no, none of you guys have. But I
What
have
did
been treated that way in the past.
what exactly did you say?
I said she wanted to be taught how to DJ, and I told her to her face that's something she should have done from the start, and she knew it.
It is the
Okay.
way he said it. It was like I was
So you got
trash.
your panties in a twist because he said something you didn't like. That was technically true.
Yes and no. I don't think it's true. No. I was forced into this by that damn Torador.
I know she thought it was a joke.
I
She's
am
funny
not
like that.
that. I don't like interaction with people. And I was being thrown into a situation where I have to. It's not something that I am going to just overnight embrace.
You could have just said that your music career was retired in like some sort of
I
public statement.
tried to do that, and you guys told me that I had to do it anyways.
I didn't. Okay, well, I
Yes,
didn't.
you did. Yes, you did.
No, I did not. You need to stop
Yes.
yelling at me.
It's
You told me to pretty much suck it up and accept it. And I have been
Except what, that you
trying.
have a new body or that you have a new identity? Look, I don't know what your job title was before you got into this body. Clearly it was a DJ or some sort of musical talent. But if it was that big of an issue, you should have taken, action at the beginning and just said, okay, this is what was there before. How do you tailor it? How do you tweak it to make it your own? Look,
And I did try. And
it goes both ways
it's
on that. You got to take responsibility for doing those things yourself.
which is why we're in the situation I am with Revis now.
Okay, well, we need to, at this point, move past that. You guys have a business arrangement that does need to play out however you guys need it to play out and move on from that. If you're not going to DJ anymore, fine. That's fine. Figure something else out. But just don't get mad over a tone. Like, people talk all the time in tones and attitudes, and it's
You weren't
passion, I
there.
guess. No, I
It was
wasn't.
the way he said it.
Well, you can't do anything about it now. It was true regardless of the way he said it. But we need to keep going. So
Can
Am I needed anymore? or can I go home and deal with what I need to deal with?
I did have another order of business. I hoped you might be around with your perspective while we do it, but we wanted to clear the air a bit before we call Mr. Danaher to come and visit.
The La Sombra?
Right.
What about him?
I have had certain parties, I've had wind of certain parties being interested in him, but I'm not sure which of them are on a need to know basis. So I thought we ought to ask him ourselves.
1 second.
Woof.
The only thing I know about him is that he was taken by Sabat. He crawled out of whatever hole they put him in, and he ran from there. I do not think he did any blood rituals with them, but he's been on the run since. And Ben recently offered him a permanent place here, and he's taking us up on it. He heard of free, well, we're not a free state, but free city. He just never had come across one, I guess, until now, from what I understand. And he's very much interested in being part of this community.
Since you know him better than the rest of us, would you mind giving him a call and seeing if he would stop by?
Of course. So she'll give him a call.
Okay. So the phone picks up. Hello?
Hey, it's Seth. Are you busy at the moment?
I was just helping out Jay at the office. But nothing super important. At least I don't think.
How's that going?
I'm heavy lifting. So as well as manual labor can go, which I don't mind. I mean, it's a paycheck.
Yeah. There's a few here from the city who would like to meet you. Would you be okay in coming by the cannery office?
I don't think I know where that's at. Can I get the address?
Yeah, and she'll give him the address.
Okay.
So we'll see you in a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, so she'll hang up. I almost forgot. He's also working for Ben now as well.
That's good. Is there enough work to go around? Keeping you all busy?
We haven't had many cases. Not since that hotel one.
Okay. You might reach out to the police again to see if they have any other interesting business they can pass along.
I will suggest that to Ben since it's his goal.
Okay.
Now I know a lot of strong words have been voiced tonight. I just want to reiterate that it's important that we all get along as well as we can. Keeps us all safer. We'll do what we can to mitigate any of threats that come from outside the city, but if we can't mitigate threats inside the city.
The only thing Ben had said to Rebus is that he expected him to apologize for insulting me. That was it. That was the threat.
That's not the only thing he said.
Then what else did he say?
He specifically said he expected you to get more than your share as compensation, in addition to the apology. At which point I considered the agreement voided because you were not present and he spoke without you being there.
Ben is very protective of me.
I understand that, which is why I have done nothing.
And I am very protective of him.
The statement still stands. However, you need to understand that should this travel and my clan find out, it won't stand with them.
Well, I don't plan on going around telling people that you refuse to teach me a discipline. And I don't think Ben will either. And I don't think Ben understood what he was asking.
I've already said
Which
I didn't make those assumptions. I have done my best to downplay this to what I am allowed to do.
I think that you should have been more truthful and explained it better.
That possibility exists. I have not denied any of that in conversations with the ladies.
Yeah, it was suggested that he could have approached that a different way. That's, yeah.
Another text
But
comes through.
at this point, now you know. Now Ben knows. You know,
Well,
just
he will
we
when I
just gotta
tell
lay
him.
low. Yeah, well, that's what I meant.
No,
We just need
Revis,
to lay
another
low on
text
that.
comes through.
Yep.
Says this is Michael, by the way.
Yes. Respond yes.
Okay. Nope. He's just letting you know that you've got a paycheck waiting for you. That's all.
Now I'm really interested. Okay. How much longer is left in the evening, Jerome? That's the right way to ask the question. Out of game. How many hours are left in this evening?
Oh, given the fact this is probably the beginning part of the evening, so you're barely coming up on 10 o'clock.
Okay. And it's the club. The club's going to be open till 1. So I've got about an hour more I can devote to this before I have to return to the club, ladies.
I don't expect it'll take too long.
No,
once he gets here.
And you can hear some rumblings outside.
Yeah, isn't he the one who has the car?
Bike.
Oh, the bike.
I would say that that's him. Since he's the only one I know that has a motorcycle.
Colin has a motorcycle.
Ooh.
Sophie gave it to him for Christmas.
Did she give him the abs too?
No, those are homegrown.
So
those are natural.
So then, obviously, you stop hearing the rumbling at one point, and then Seth, you get a text.
Okay.
I'm not going in there. What kind of weird magic voodoo is going on in that room?
What do you mean?
So he texts again. It's some kind of weird magic voodoo in that room. I'm not going in there.
He says he's not coming in here because there's some kind of weird voodoo going on.
Voodoo.
There's some voodoo going on? Who brought voodoo?
Oh, that must be the bones and stuff on the front.
The what?
What did you do?
Oh, this is... You can't tell lies in this room.
Well, that's very kind.
Revis just kind of laughs.
I had to be sure.
So you've brought me into a place without telling me that I'd have to tell the truth on everything.
Why would you need to lie in the first place?
Why does anybody have to lie? Not everybody wants to just pour out their soul, Damaris.
Did you pour out your soul? No, I don't think you did. You told us everything that was relevant to this situation.
There's a certain individual that I'd rather him not know my business.
He is part of this city, and this is important. So no, I'm not going to apologize for this. You didn't want to come here in the first place because you didn't want to face the fact that you fucked up.
That had nothing to do with it. I had things at home that needed to be done with
Okay.
my own family.
Yeah, I know, and they're still there.
That's why
Not
I
like an
didn't.
hour out of your morning is going to do anything.
I was not told that this
And
was
Ryan was quickly
needed.
driving away. Just kidding.
You know what? Why don't we go meet him in the parking lot?
That's fine.
Trudy will stand up and head out to the parking lot.
Okay.
Rivas will go with her.
And yeah, she's out of there. She was out of that room.
Okay.
She will not go back in there until those skulls and bones are gone.
Is that permanent?
No,
Nope.
it
Oh,
was
sorry.
just an insurance.
Rivas goes, permanency might not be a
Insurance
bad
for who?
idea.
But
Sorry,
you
I
guys,
didn't hear what you
so
said,
you
Joe.
guys exit out the door, and of course he could hear the arguing and whatnot, and so he's like holding up his hands, like, okay, hold on, I didn't like walk into like a family feud or something here.
Kind of.
Well, yeah, but don't
So-
worry. We'll
No,
get
I
over
am worried. I don't want to be involved in any sort of like drama. I haven't
You're not
done
involved
anything.
in this drama. It's okay. Don't worry. This doesn't
Sisters
include you.
fight.
Rivas is going to find something to sit on. He
Simon,
goes,
you
Miss
could-
Trudy, should I get you a chair?
You could lean against, if you're out in the parking lot, you can lean against the light post. They've got like that cement column at the base.
Miss Trudy, this is the gentleman that you wish to meet.
Oh, yes. I do recall when we brought you in. How's Callahan's treating you?
Fine.
Any complaints about the service? Anyone knocking on your door at all hours?
No, not that. You called me here to ask me about room service?
No. I just thought it was a good opportunity to check on my business.
No, I mean, it's fine.
It's still a bit of a work in progress, the kindred aspect. So your feedback is appreciated. No, the reason that I hoped you would come by is we're friends here, despite what you heard on our way out of the room. So I'm asking you.
Give me charisma and expression.
Okay.
Difficulty 7.
That's like starting with, we need to talk.
Exactly. Did you get the memo? Yeah.
Oh, while she's rolling, I have to show. I found
what
Reeves'
did I
heart.
do?
Oh,
His black
There
heart.
we go.
Nice.
hey,
Is it in his body though?
No,
it is not in his body.
3? Okay.
Mr. Danaher, do you know any other La Sombra?
No.
You're not acquainted with any?
No.
Would you know one if you met them?
This is really weird line of questioning. No. Is there
I've had
a certain
wind.
way that they're supposed, like, are they supposed to flash me some sort of gang sign?
I
or-
don't know how La Sombra run their business.
I don't really either.
I've had word that Baron Amon is asking around about you.
What's a
And I
Baron
wondered,
Amon?
Amon O'Toole,
Oh, is it a person?
Baron of Medford.
She had to pause, think. Access
I
left
don't
side
know
of the
why I
brain.
can't remember that name.
He says
I've even been there.
no.
Now, word has it he's good people.
Okay.
But I wanted to run it by you before anyone talks about having discovered where you are.
I've been found out. So he's like starts looking around real quick and getting real edgy.
I've also had word on the grapevine. Ryan, are you familiar with the Guru?
Revis perks up at that one. Excuse me?
So I mean, at this point, he's like putting his hand on his knife at this point and backing away from all of you. And he says, he's like, what do the Guru have to do with this?
Oh, my.
We just have been hearing inquiries. I have people that know things, and your name came up, and I just wanted to speak with you first, find out if there's anything that we ought to know. If you're hiding from someone, we can help. If someone is trying to find you that would be beneficial, we can help with that too. I just wanted to know where things stand with you before asking anyone else.
Give me charisma and expression, difficulty 9.
Wow.
Yeah, he's about to run.
I'm going to make a will. I'm going to spend a will.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
7 successes.
Wow,
Holy
nice.
I got 3 10s.
Goodness gracious.
Good grief.
And you're never going to see that again.
Yeah, it seems to go in waves. Like every so often the dice roller rolls like in everybody's favor, and then it counterbalances out. And it's like, I'm giving everybody ones. And it's just like...
Let's not
That's what I
go
was
there.
doing the other night. Yeah.
I have seen more than enough ones in the last 3 game sessions. More than enough ones.
Yeah, Wednesday's night was
It's because
brutal.
I wasn't here to take them. I'm sorry.
The one aggro. So he pauses for a second, and and he looks around, and you were disarming as hell. It must have been your southern accent, your matron attitude. I mean,
I'm 5'2". I'm hardly threatening looking.
yeah, there's some,
despite having a humanity of 3.
there's some kind of package to that all. Well, the light complexion goes well with your makeup. I mean, who knows? Just
okay.
It just, there was something about the total package that was very, 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 according to that roll, disarming. Like, I mean, even the hardest of hearts, the people on pads kind of go like, "Aw," like a second.
Don't be saying that.
And so he still has his hand on his knife at this point. And he said, and he looks around for a second. He's staying close to his bike, if he needs to. But he says, that's because I'm one of them.
You're a werewolf.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
I didn't
I didn't know
ask
that
for it
was
to be possible, and I don't know if it's possible. I just know that I am.
So
Well,
you are a
Oh my.
vampiric werewolf? Is that even possible? How's that possible?
I
Maybe she's now
I don't know.
way attentive. Wow, a legend.
Oh,
That's pretty much exactly the way he's like.
Is there any knowledge I can roll to see if I've even heard of that before?
Sure. Why don't you give me intelligence and occult, difficulty 9?
Okay.
Yeah, I want to roll 2.
It is super rare.
Extremely.
yeah, Trudy's not going to have a clue.
Let's see if Dice Bot holds. Yeah, I know, Davy
Seeing-
Jones. Big surprise, huh?
Okay. Sorry, I didn't do it right.
That explains so much. Reeves is like really attentive now. He's like,
sorry, I can't get
seeing
my
as
scent back.
how
2.
we understand the relationship between
1.
our peoples, I can understand why you would be so jumpy.
No.
So I got 2.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, it's Steph, so you get enough to kind of understand. It is super rare. In most cases, the legend has it that most can't withstand the change, that they will die, shortly after the embrace or during the embrace. Others are. The running rumor is that most of them can't stay sane long enough to survive for one reason or another because they're a part of two different
Anathema
worlds.
to themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Does the others know that this happened to you? That
What
you were
others?
embraced? The other werewolves.
Yes.
Are they hunting you?
In a manner of
Well-
speaking, yeah.
I mean, he shouldn't be here. He shouldn't be alive. It's like,
Oh, thanks.
well, no,
I don't think
you
she means it like
shouldn't.
I
that.
spill my heart out here to Mama Trudy, and now I'm unwelcome.
No,
No,
that's
no.
not it.
That's not what we said.
You are very,
anomaly.
very, very rare.
You're a
Because
miracle.
Normally, when a werewolf consumes,
Reeves is just interested.
when a werewolf is drained of his blood and then consumes the blood of a vampire, it typically kills them or it turns them insane.
Right.
So the
I've
fact
heard
that
the
you are
rumors.
standing here is shocking.
It's a miracle,
If you say so.
for better or worse. Okay, in light of that, there are some things that you probably ought to know.
Oh,
If
there's
you
special
don't-
rules for my kind now?
All right, no, just
Ryan,
we
just
told you
chill.
about the werewolves in the area, right?
We did.
Yeah. You guys have told me, and I've stayed I've given them a wide berth.
Okay. All right, good.
Which explains why you didn't want to go back to that club with us now.
Duh.
Hmm.
Yes.
I mean, they're as werewolves go, they're not bad, almost congenial, but under the circumstances, perhaps that's wise to keep, a distance.
I
Where
think
The
we
only
might
one
just
I
say we
where
don't
are
know.
your people from? Where are they looking for you from?
Everywhere I go.
Yeah. We just
Okay.
need to say we don't. No clue. You don't want any.
Okay, so assume all werewolves will be hostile with extreme prejudice. Okay. What about
The
Amen.
cam is not going to be any different on this topic.
probably
Well,
not. The cam
the
is
cam-
never.
the cam can go hang?
I'm just saying, as a reference point,
Amen, Miss
their
Trudy.
feelings on these types of uniqueness are.
Can you still do both things?
Yeah.
Are you,
Please don't ask
Wow.
me like I'm a trick pony.
I wasn't.
I don't want to demonstrate,
insisting
but
on.
yes, I
that's
can.
That's just fine. That's just fine. Most of us aren't super keen on watching that anyway.
Revisco, speak for yourself. The knowledge. He's just like, kind of walks over by Damaris, goes like, it's so unique.
I have not met Baron Amon, but he is well regarded among the locals. Baron Lore knows him fairly well, I think. Are you interested in meeting him?
Why would I be interested in meeting him? What? I don't
As
understand why this guy has any sort of tie to me.
he's a La Sombra and an
Okay.
anarch, which is unusual. La Sombra are typically Sabbat, so he's had some
Yeah, I figured that part out quick.
prejudice as well. I just wanted to know. I don't know his interest in you, except perhaps on the clan level. But before
Why would he be interested in me outside of morbid curiosity?
I don't know.
He could teach you some things. I
Revis would
suppose.
look at Damaris and go like, "Do you want to talk to him? Because he kind of seems to lack the understanding of why people might be really interested in him."
No, I'm just gonna let it.
Okay, because
Let it sit.
I get accused all the time of ulterior motivations, and this is one of those things where I really need to be hands off. It's enough that I know about it and can admire it. It's such a glorious. So
Revis right now is out in the deep ocean near the boat, and the rest of the people are gasping because he's about to touch the boat. It's like, oh,
That's a good. That's
he
good.
touched the butt.
Touch the butt. The butt. Yeah, I've been to have I mean, that is a. God, the Sabbat would love you. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
I
glad that they don't have
somehow
them.
don't think that. They were the ones that made me, and when I came up hungry, the last vision I saw of all of them was a surprised look.
So I take it they didn't know. They didn't know what they got a hold of.
They'd keep you as a pet. I'm just saying. That's bad. Yeah, I'm glad you got away.
It's
Anyway.
so interesting. So
Revis would look at his watch, Strom, just checking to make sure he's got time left.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
okay, I'm just thinking about mirrors and La Sombra and Guru, but Trudy doesn't know what Guru can do with mirrors, so I guess I can't talk about that.
Nope.
That's just really interesting.
But man, it makes so much sense.
I knew there was something weird about him in that hotel room. I knew it. But Trudy wasn't there, so.
And unfortunately, Steph doesn't know that much about them. She doesn't know about them sidestepping. So she
Well,
can't ask.
I can try and find out more about why certain people might be interested in you without letting on that we know your location.
Okay.
Actually,
I mean, they have missing people's reports going out there. I can tell you that right now.
Would you like us to stage your death so that people stop looking?
Hell, we even got somebody who can make you a DJ.
Would you like to be a DJ?
So he's like, no, I've never. No.
Feelings mutual.
Like,
you can change your profession.
The big out of all your plight. We can make you a DJ. We can put you in witness protection.
We could pull some strings and have someone that looks like you found by the police and
Yeah, it works.
get
wonders.
that case closed. If you would like that.
Why would you do that for me? I haven't done anything to warrant something like that.
Well,
I'm still
maybe I'm
half
a
expecting
bit of a
for one of you guys to turn on me.
maybe I'm a bit of a bleeding heart.
But why would we turn on you?
It's what he's
Everybody
used to.
has. Are you kidding me? Why do you think
Yeah,
I've been on the run?
Revis,
Well,
Revis is, while maintaining distance, go, yeah, you're worth something to a lot of different factions. Not going to tell you it's not the case. However, that also makes you something that the people in this city aren't willing to give up under most circumstances.
well,
And if
even
some,
if he wasn't this unique, we wouldn't give him up.
let me finish, please. And if something comes up where the Baroness or Trudy feels that the situation is spinning out of control, someone will contact you and let you know so you have time to get out of Dodge. We tend to value the inhabitants more than you are used to. And you're relatively unique in your category. And I'm in agreement with all of the people here and that you're entitled to the same protections everyone else gets.
No one ends up in Ashland without being on the run in some way.
It seems to be a running theme here.
Ouch. And then he steps back and lets them finish and I'm going to assume at this point it's time for my character to hive off to see what's actually at the club.
Sure. So you bid your adieu and head on out. And he said, and I mean, he just kind of shrugs at this point and he says, I still don't know if I'm going to stay now that I've actually mentioned this out loud. But
Well, wouldn't you rather be around people that you've actually can reach out to if you need help? Aren't you tired of running?
of course I'm tired of running, but you understand, like, I don't belong to either world. I lied to get here just so somebody would get off my back.
Well, it's a good thing you got in the between world because that's
Who
great.
here hasn't lied to protect themselves? Recently.
Glad I'm not there. I'd be laughing.
Eventually, her
Revis
foot's
would
going to
just
find
pull-
her way up Revis's rear end.
Revis would just pull away with the General Lee, horn, sort of thing.
No doubt. Oh my. This has been an entertaining session for him.
Well, listen, we honestly would love for you to stay in Ashland and know that you have support here should you need it.
Ben wouldn't have offered you a position if he didn't feel like he could trust you. That's something that's important to him.
Okay.
Now, I know that's something that's...
What am I going to owe for this? Because I know that's a big deal in this society.
No,
how can I owe nothing?
Because we're not the tower.
He's like looking around. The tower? What?
The Camarilla.
Oh, because for a second I thought you were talking Stephen King, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's way off.
I don't know this, Mr. King, but I can tell you that's not how we operate here. Among anarchs, we treat each other as individuals. We value each other for what we are. And this is what we do in Ashland.
And
I know it's going to take you a while to believe in what I'm telling you, but you can take it or leave it. You're welcome as long as you want to be here.
So he kind of shrugs and kind of accepts it at this point. I mean, he's still really skittish, but you've done a lot to kind of take his mind off of what he's expressed, and he says, "Okay, maybe I'll trust a little,
Ryan.
But if it's okay, I'm gonna leave now."
I wouldn't say no to you paying paying a regular rate for the room, but just throwing that out there.
And so he's like, oh, okay, fine. Yeah, I mean, I've got some money now. I can definitely at least pay for a month.
Ryan, are you wanting to tell Ben or shall I?
I'm already assuming you guys are going to start spreading the word, so
No.
I'm going to
No.
duck my
No.
head down at this point. And
That's not
No.
going anywhere.
No, but Ben being the sweeper, he's going to need to know so that he can keep an eye out for
Trouble.
any problems that might come your way.
so a janitor looks out for trouble.
Oh my God. We need
You
to
are
kind of show you
clearly
some
new.
of the knowledge. Yeah.
Clearly new to
Yeah, this is basically my
Vampire
first day.
Society.
Okay. So, we'll if you want to hang around, we'll make the time to teach you some of the things about
How we
anarchy.
operate.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that would probably be helpful.
And the Baron ought to know for the same reasons.
Don't worry. But about outside of that, that's it. No one's gonna know. No one's gonna share. It's gonna stay between.
So the Baron and the
This.
janitor.
Don't
That's
call
right.
him. Don't call him
Don't
that
call
to
him
his
the
face.
janitor.
Oh, I'm going to call him that. I'm kidding. I won't call him that. It is funny, though.
He might laugh at first, but
Why would you call him a sweeper then? What does he carry a broom with him that like transforms
No,
into a
it's-
gun or
it's-
something?
it's
or?
a title
Metaphorical?
of it's a title similar to Baron.
Oh, I get
He's
it's
kinda
it's a
like-
title.
he-
I just don't understand the metaphor.
Security.
He's the city's security. He watches out for trouble.
Oh,
And he
okay.
watches out
Clean
for-
sweep. Okay, I get it now.
Like a minesweeper.
Right. Okay. I'm kind of getting it now. Okay. I right. Okay. And so
So I'll ask again. Do you want to tell him or shall I?
I figured you guys would all share your details or whatever that happened. So I don't particularly want to keep talking about this. So whatever it is you do, and I can't really control that.
Do you do you sleep during the day? Like the rest of us?
It's a fair
Yes.
question.
Do you eat anything different than the rest of us?
No, I have the
Okay.
same problems that vampires have. I can't walk in the sun anymore, and spirits really hate me when I cross over.
Cross over to what?
The spirit world.
The what now?
Oh my gosh.
I-
We don't have a lot of.
Yeah. I'll
understanding.
You know
I'll
what?
explain
Let's
that later.
just table that. That must be a guru thing. I don't need to know.
Well, I do. I'd like to learn. I'll teach you about anarchs. You can teach me about Garu.
I mean, I know a little bit, but not that much.
Like, I believe in being prepared, and knowledge is power. Okay.
Okay, then yeah, maybe I can trade vis-a-vis, because I don't want anybody thinking I'm here on a freebie. I want to pay my way.
Oh, you're not required to teach me anything. I just like learning about that kind of thing because you just don't come across it. So I'll take.
You
the
don't come
opportunity
across
where I
me
can.
every day.
Exactly.
Heavens no.
Okay, so pause there real quick. So
Yeah.
Revis, you're heading back.
Uh-huh.
Club is obviously jumping,
Mhm.
so on and so forth. The security out front, you don't recognize.
Not mine, or just not the normal shift.
Not the ones, not the ones that are yours.
Okay. I just kind of.
So when they see you approach, they just motion you to, they motion you in.
Mhm.
They got a line, kind of forming outside, occasionally letting people in as people exit, so on and so forth. Very much like a club that's starting to get hopping.
Mhm.
So you walk inside. I mean, everything looks the same as when you last left it.
Okay. Other than the fact the security isn't mine.
Correct.
That's not. Yep. Okay. The rest of the attendants look like they're mine, or they all changed?
No, and you don't recognize a single person on the inside of here, except for your one waitress.
Okay. Walk over. Assume it's Michael sending her.
No, it's another bartender. He's serving drinks and keeping things hopping.
Okay, I walk over.
He says, "What can I get you?"
I said something about a payment.
Payment. Oh, right. Okay, yeah. Hold on a second. And so he walks over to the back wall where there's a phone. Basically presses a button and says, "Yeah, boss, your guy is here for payment." And so you see, a very well-dressed Michael come walking out from the back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, knew that was coming.
With an envelope.
Mm-hmm.
And he motions you off to the side to the of the bar. It's still in public.
Uh-huh.
And he slides you the envelope. It's pretty thick.
Mm-hmm. I just kind of look at it and go, yes.
It's your paycheck.
For?
Your services rendered with the other individuals of our ilk.
I see. Okay. And has anything else changed?
Anything else changed? Other individuals in the business structure that reported to you have been repurposed elsewhere. And you are to continue doing what you're doing.
Okay. That's what I needed to know. Thank you very much.
You needn't worry about the this bar for the time being.
I appreciate it.
So he just nods and slides the envelope to you.
Mm-hmm. Don't even bother looking at it. I just tuck it in my pocket.
Okay.
And walk out.
Okay.
That was not unsurprising. Sorry. Just saying. That was a move I expected to see coming when I gave him what for over what he didn't know. Yep. Not unsurprised. Okay.
Did you just lose your bar?
I didn't lose it per se.
It's still there.
It's still there. And I could go back there anytime I wanted to. They've just, how would I, out of character.
Under new management?
It's under new management because Michael's business didn't go through the way he wanted. If I had to guess, I don't know for sure. Out of character, I'm speaking strictly out of character at this point. Sorry, but I knew what was happening, and when I didn't get an answer on something else, I'm like, his only option is to take the other thing that's available, and the clan isn't going to oppose him on it. They're going to go like, yeah, fine. Revis has done well. Pay him this. Take on the club. And you use that as your opening to expand because Revis is limited in what we're allowing him to do. Totally. And Revis is going to roll with it because that's what he expects his clan to do. They've given him a chore. Do it. The club's was nice, but give it to the guy whose business is doing just that and let Revis go back to what he succeeded at. Totally got it. Yep.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, this
No
will
problem.
be interesting since that's still Seth's hunting ground. It's going to be
Well,
fun.
Some things won't change. I will check onto it, but like there's no conflict there as far as Revis's character would be concerned. Now, is he going to then have a conversation with the Baroness on the next eve? Probably, but different question.
Okay. So, has Ryan left?
Yeah, at this point, Ryan just go ahead and hops on his motorcycle. You've heard him pass by a couple times and shoot his microphone. I'm just kidding.
Okay. So now that she has the girls to herself.
Is it better though? Is it better than it was before?
Oh, it definitely is better. Yeah. 100%.
I don't know how much you guys remember that night at the boneyard.
I saw all of it.
I was there. I remember it pretty keenly.
where I kind of decimated that one.
Oh,
Hmm.
wait, really?
Yeah, I kind of frenzied on him.
Oh boy, that's
That's been happening a lot.
we
And
need
not that,
to
yeah,
we need to not do that.
Well, I typically don't lose my cool. I did that night and I lost it on Ben.
Ben
okay.
lost it too, but
Yeah, but that's
to
normal for
Revis.
Ben.
Yep.
Well, he didn't frenzy on Revis. He just
Are you
firm. No, he would have told me if he would have frenzied on Revis.
feeling okay?
I don't know. I just know I'm on edge and I'm
Hearing
Well,
angry.
hearing
uh,
voices or anything?
understandably so.
No, I'm not hearing any voices.
Which
I feel frustrated. Extremely frustrated.
out of character, it wasn't Hector that she ate, was it?
No.
It was one of the other ones.
Mhm.
Okay, and I don't
Have
know them
you
from Adam, so okay.
noticed anything different?
New itches, needing scratching.
Besides being angry, no.
Maybe it was a brouhaha.
Mm.
Well, you had a lot happen, and I wouldn't be surprised if you picked up a little bit of influence from that meal.
I mean, I've never done that before. I never diabolized anyone before.
Oh, that was your first time?
It's not something I typically go out to do.
I know, at least not on purpose. Um, okay.
Like I said, I don't normally lose control.
Have you thought about working on that level of willpower as far as the control?
Well,
Basically, on a character, increase your willpower or your
yeah.
what you call it,
No, I haven't had
your
time
self
to really
control.
stop and focus on anything except keeping my and Ben's family safe.
I'm going to step out for a minute, guys. I'll be right back.
Sure.
And honestly, the less Revis knows, the more comfortable I am. I don't trust him.
I know you don't.
And I don't want him knowing every aspect of what is going on with me in my own chaos.
Well, look, it's unfortunately what's happening with you in this particular situation does involve the rest of us because it now involves a prince and Trish, who is not Tremere, as well, and she's also on the run. So unfortunately, it's a little bit bigger than that at this point. And I feel that it is important for him to know because he is a member of the city. He is part of our, I don't even know, like not leadership, but he's on that
Quartery.
line. Yes, he's on that line with Ben being a sweeper. And so yeah, it is kind of important for him to be aware of it because hiding stuff as important as this is what separates us. It's not going to bring us any closer together. It's just going to create rifts.
It's the way he treats me I don't approve of. I
He
don't
is
like
not
his
humane.
snide. I don't care. I don't like his snide remarks and it pisses me off and I want to tear his face off.
I'm sure it would grow back if you did that. But look,
Which
I'm
is
not
one of the
trying to make
reasons why I
light.
asked you guys not to let him know about Ben's fear, and that is why Ben asked me to ask for that. Ben
Oh, I
has
didn't
a
know he had a fear.
phobia of snakes, and that's why he ran. And
Wait, was that an attempt to condition
desensitize him.
himself?
Yes. Yes.
Couldn't you just go to a pet store?
I mean, there's plenty
I,
of them.
I suppose.
I mean,
Heck, just go out to the park. I'm sure you'll find some.
I just don't ever want him to use that against Ben. And I don't trust him enough
I
that he
don't
wouldn't.
see him as doing that, not intentionally. Like, if he's able to turn himself into some sort of serpent, which, Drum, I know I didn't see him turn into, so I don't know if he was a snake at that point at all. Is that then that's the one that scared him, right? Even though I saw it.
You would have saw the flying snake.
Yeah, he would have heard
Exactly.
Ben go,
I didn't know
"Run,
that.
flies!"
I didn't know that was Revis being kicked.
Right.
So out of character. So I just saw him kick a snake and then he ran. I don't know, but now it makes a lot more sense. Revis being of his clan, and then him kicking that snake into the next generation.
You know,
Okay,
I
I
think
don't see him doing that. I don't.
I think there's something to be said about the restrictions of his office requiring him to work well with the other officials of the city. And I
play well
think,
with others.
right, I think that would go against that tenet. But I understand your concern.
And listen, the ritual that I put in that room, it wasn't intended for you, Seth. Unfortunately, Trudy, it was intended for you because I didn't know and I needed assurances.
Well, now you know. If you need to know something honestly, you can just ask me.
I understand that, but after what I saw, again, I was just being careful. However, just so you guys know that if we have suspicions on other people and we're looking to ask questions, that might not be a bad thing to use in the future.
Yeah, I haven't paid. I mean, I have the ritual, but I haven't paid much attention to it. I guess I just haven't had a need to really.
And his name is John
I
Wait, so that affects the whole room?
Yeah, it's an
being
area
lied
effect.
to. It's a
So
room.
then-
It's only a room.
So then the questioners would be forced into honesty as well.
It works for everybody. Yeah, it goes both ways. So I was putting myself at risk too. You guys just didn't ask me any questions really. So
And I owe you an apology, Damaris. I didn't mean to bite your head off. I don't understand what's really going on with me.
I don't know either. But since we both do deal with magics, similarly, I don't think I'll get in trouble for trying to help you figure stuff out. But if you need someone to help you research what could be going on, I am available.
And also, as I said, there are Anarch resources. If there's something you need to know, you may be able to find it on the Free Press or ask around with Anarchs.
I wanted to learn a very simple thaumaturgic ritual called Blood Walk because it would allow me to test someone's blood and glean certain information from the blood, such as
Well, blood can
clan,
definitely talk.
generation. It would have been nice to have been able to use that on Ryan.
I don't think he would have been willing to give you his blood.
Well, yeah.
Now that we know, that's probably true.
But Ben and I did discuss that with these people coming through here, like it's Grand Central Station, being able to these new people being able to see if they're telling us the truth.
Hey,
would
we've
be
got a
helpful.
room. And, okay. I mean, that's understandable. I don't have access to that kind of a ritual, and I am not familiar with it personally. But
I think it's more of a Tremere thing.
I suspect, yeah.
And I never expected for my haven to be spied on the way it was. I did not think Katrina would reacted the way she did. I would that the clues I sent her would have been enough.
I don't think you should have told her at all or tried to clue her in as to who you were.
Well, the
Should have
only
left it
thing I can
that.
think of is that Constantine found her, forced her to drink from the cup, and
Basically brought her back in. Yeah, I see that, but again, it's more of I don't think that you should have told her. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it now, but yeah, shouldn't have concluded her in as to who you were. Yeah, but now you know. Hopefully, nobody else comes snooping around on that. But now they think that you're somebody else that framed Lily.
I don't know what Constantine would do.
Maybe he'll just release you on the condition that you won't teach blood magics. If you're still tied. I know
really
it's not that
nice. He's really not
Revis
that nice
on my shoulder.
Yep.
Mushu on this side, Revis on this side.
Little Revis like the two angels. Yep.
There's so much I want to tell you, but I don't know if I'm being watched.
Look, only tell me what information that you feel that I should know.
You could go back in the room.
That doesn't keep them from being able to watch.
No,
and I don't know if I'm being watched or if it's Trish that's being watched.
I see.
Well, maybe we shouldn't be talking out here anyway. Listen, why don't you go and update Ben as to, the events tonight. And I will tell you, if Ben comes after me for putting that ritual in that room, he needs to go another direction because I don't need to hear it.
He won't come after you.
And that's where we're going to go ahead and stop for the afternoon. So thank you again all for a great game. I had a lot of fun. I think Davy Jones needs to put his socks back on because they sound like they've been blown off. So
poor Davy.
Our next game is actually going to be coming up next week. That is on Friday. It is the final game of Ashland by Night, Dark West.
And I'm still alive.
Yeah,
we're already
and
down.
I will be at home.
So we're already down 3 people at this point. So we'll see how many more we wind up losing, or if more can make it to the finale. So that will be the wrap up of that. And then on that Saturday, which next Saturday is actually our Marvel Superheroes game. So hopefully we'll have everybody there and more exploratory conversations. And trying to find out just what the heck all these dimensional problems are still happening and so on and so forth. So lots of fun. I had a great time tonight or today, I should say. And I hope you guys join us for our next games. So take it easy and have a good one. Good night, guys.
Bye.
Good. Take care, folks.
Good night.